Good morning, almost afternoon. It has taken me a bit to get back up to running today, but I try to write a couple of words that I want to talk to you about that I'm thinking about, kind of where we're at in our journey. So the first word is muck. And the reason I say muck is because um, when we walked off the island with our wagon, it was down on the first floor or in the storage lockers that are at the first level. And we're up on the fourth floor, but fifth level of the building. And through our lobby and the lower stairwell is just filled with muck. So, what is muck? Muck is sand and water and sand and water and dirt all combined to make muck and debris. And when we took our wagon out of there, first we wiped it down, and then Greg sprayed it down and tried to clean it. And then we've hosed it down. And now, yesterday, we hosed it down again. But muck is different than sand and dirt. It does not clean, it sticks. It like sticks to the wagon. So when we got up today, because we use the wagon every day to pull Peanut because he can't really walk because he can't see. So he's scared and he puts his paws out and he's too nervous. So we take him in the wagon to a grassy area and then we encourage him to go to the bathroom. And then he barks and we put him back in the wagon, which feels safe to him. But what I was thinking about the muck today, I was thinking, like, this just doesn't brush off. Like, I can't just take a shower and get clean or get one layer of dirt or salt or sand or debris off of me. It just returns, right? Like, it's like you try to wash off, but it's so thick, it's so dense and so heavy that it returns to you. And I was thinking about like walking through mud or a mudslide, or like how you're just stuck in that dirt and you just can't get it off of you. And the wagon's such a symbol of where we're at right now, that we are rinsing off every day. We are praying. We are grateful. We are trying our best to take care of ourselves. But the residue from what we've been through comes back and it sticks on us. And it's heavy and thick and exhausting at times. And last night I fell asleep at 8:15 and I slept until 7 this morning. I don't know when or if I've ever slept 11 hours in my life, but I was so tired. I was just so tired that I don't know if I moved for 11 hours, just laying there exhausted from so many things. But was gifted and blessed by a therapy session yesterday, and I don't remember the letters of it, like EMTR or TREM or something like that. And things that come back to me, the feeling of shaking in the building, and the feeling of being unsafe in my foundation, in my core. And I know that we build our foundation on our faith, and that is strong. But the foundation of my body and my mind, and having a home to go home to, that stability piece that I didn't grow up with and that I worked so very hard to create and achieve in my life, for myself and our family and our children, and to have that shook and stolen felt really heavy. But in the therapy yesterday, there's definitely a part of me that feels foolish or disappointed in myself for not being wiser to know more. And I did ask people that knew stuff, but I still on my own think, why was I not smart enough to know not to stay? And so I feel a bit foolish, and I was feeling very unsafe and very shook. But whatever this eye therapy where you follow a wand, I can't remember what it's called. I know one of you is going to tell me what it's called, and I should know. And she did tell me multiple times, but it's hard to remember and focus. Like, I got lost this morning. I've dropped off Elizabeth and Stephen at the airport, and I was driving back, but I just totally spaced out. And then it said, this direction to Miami. And I was like, whoops, I think I went too far. So I turned around and found my way back. But my mind's not as clear as it has been. And so that's been challenging. I wanted to give you an update on Peanut. We had a very hard afternoon yesterday. He had a 3:30 appointment, and we were there for over an hour, where they put dye in his eyes and they rubbed his eyes. And the good news is he doesn't have any ulcers or cuts on his eyes. And being that when we walked out of our building on Thursday, there's just metal. Like, to me, that's a huge component of how my body feels, is like this huge metal that was over cars, protecting cars, was shredded. And the sound and the power of that is very scary. And then in addition to that, rebar is sticking up all over in the parking lot. And we're trying to walk our dogs and navigate for 3 days after the hurricane. And we were concerned, we watched him, but that in a moment, a piece of metal or dirt or rebar or debris could have touched his eyes. But it's just his eyes are deteriorating. And now we have to go to a specialist on Monday. She said it looks like he has glaucoma, and it looks like he's losing his sight, and that he's in a lot of pain. His eyes were really bulging. So she's concerned about the pressure, but we couldn't test that yesterday. So we're going to a specialist on Monday. And then last night, lovely Elizabeth and Stephen were going to gather with some of their neighbors. And I was laughing to Greg that for 30 years, I have tried my darndest to help my husband turn into an extrovert, to be the person that wants to meet everybody and be friends with everybody and go out Thursday night and Friday night and Saturday night. And unfortunately, I think he somehow, without trying or subliminally trying, turned me into an introvert. And maybe it's just this season in my life, but I'm overwhelmed by people in good and bad ways. Like, it's just hard to tell our story. It's hard to want to talk to people or to have small talk or just to meet new people. And so jokingly last night, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to turn you into an extrovert, and I think you turned me into an introvert, because I just feel so overwhelmed by conversations, and talking on the phone feels overwhelming to me, which seems weird, but it's like the auditory piece, my brain is just tired and strained. And so it feels exhausting to try to be connected and extroverted and to go meet new people. And so we kind of took the long way home and ended up getting a little lost to come back here last night as they gathered with their friends. And we're so glad they had that time. But for Greg and I, we just weren't up to it. We just couldn't talk to new people or meet people right now. And I'm super grateful for all of you reaching out and however you do it. And I know that I will get back to bubbly, energetic, extroverted Annie. But right now it's hard, so I just do what I can, and the computer feels safe to me, and being able to connect right here with you. And I appreciate all of you. And I'm humbled. I'm grateful. I am being here today. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say today. We're still waiting for confirmation that we have a new place and that we can move in there. We're hopeful that happens today or tomorrow. But I just want to say thanks and check in and say I still got a bunch of muck on me, and it's going to take a while. Uh-oh, the boss is growling. That means time to get to work. So thank you for listening. God bless you. Thank you all so much for your support as we struggle through the muck to get back to where we're meant to be. And someday we'll have a celebration. Actually, I planned a gathering, and I only invited Greg and Megan so far for the last weekend in October, because it would have been our 1-year anniversary in our new condo. And I was like, let's have a Halloween party and let's invite everything. Greg had not given me the green light, so I had not invited anyone else. But someday we'll have a celebration of life and being alive and rebuilding ourselves and our stability and our home, and you're all invited. And I know that can be a lot of people right now. So I think I have over 30,000 connections between my different social medias. So if we have 30,000 people at our 2-bedroom condo, it might be crowded. And for you introverts, we'll make a little corner of quiet where you can hang out, or you could have like lanai. I don't know. Anyway, someday we'll celebrate again. So thank you. God bless. And thanks for listening. Thanks for encouraging. Thanks for being my safe place to share this journey.